Once you've had Rickrack, you'll never go back. Yep, that's a Rickrack, quick detach strapless luggage system. Badass. This video in 4K. Class is in session. Quiet in the class. Quiet! This is Rickrack 101, the best quick detach strapless luggage system in the world. I got some hints, tips, and tricks for you. Everything you need to know before you make your purchase. Rickrack, let's get started right now. Welcome back, Bikeaholics. Ryan Rickrack here, lawabidingbiker.com. Thank you for checking back in. Want to save money, wrench on your own motorcycle, be entertained, and be part of the #1 biker community? Every time that subscribe button and bell icon are hit, another biker joins the revolution. So I've learned a lot about the Rickrack quick detach strapless luggage system. I want to share those things with you guys. You can be educated before you make your purchase. Everything I talk about in this video, link in the description below, guys, right to our store if you appreciate what we're trying to do to help as many bikers as we can worldwide. Support us, hit the links below, purchase from the Law Abiding Biker store. And you know the faces behind the store. We're here to help you. Oh, and don't forget, we've already done a video, an introduction to Rickrack. I'll link to it in the description below. You'll definitely want to watch that video. We show you how to actually install the Rickrack system. So let's just get right to it. A lot of guys ask, is it heavy? Is the system heavy? And the answer to whether it's heavy or not, absolutely not. This thing is very high quality metal, but it's super light. And I haven't weighed it, but maybe a pound or two at the most. Your concern is the luggage you put in your bag. That's what's going to create the weight. Your touring bike can handle the Rickrack system. And no, it's not going to scratch your chrome or black luggage rack, guys. Rickrack makes quality products. They put rubber protectors both on the front and the rear in the clamp system, so no worries there. So let's talk bags real quick. This is a Rickrack bag. It is made for the Rickrack system, which bolts to the bottom of your bag. Don't worry, in our original video, link in the description below, we show you how to mount the Rickrack system to the bottom of this. It works really well and seamless with this bag. That doesn't mean you can't use another aftermarket bag if you choose. And if you saw the beginning of this video, I gave you some shots of a kind of a custom install on a roller bag, an aftermarket roller bag. And if you didn't know, the Rickrack bag comes with a very quality, very thick, elastic rain cover. So to sum that up, this bag, the Rickrack Top Deck 2 is what we call it in our store, works seamlessly with the Rickrack Quick Detach system. So the question is, will the Rickrack system itself bolt to aftermarket bags? Of course, you might have to make a few minor modifications. That's exactly what I did with this bag. This is an actual roller bag. It's got wheels on it, okay? It's a very similar size to the Top Deck 2. But it has an internal handle, and that's something you have to be aware of because it has basically a handle system that goes on the inside of the bag. Of course, it's got to have these channels for this handle to go up and down. That's something you're going to have to be aware of if you're going to do a custom job like I did on this and bolt it to the bottom of the bag. You've got to be aware of where those rails rails run, and that way you can make sure that you can see I drilled holes, 6 holes in this bag all the way down, and just made sure that it was on each side of the rail system. You want to take note, I basically flushed the Rickrack front of it where the clamp is right up to this bag. I just made certain that I was kind of centered. So just understand, guys, if you're going to do that, if you're going to use this roller bag, we do have this in our store at this time. It's an aftermarket tea bag, limited quantities on that, guys. There are other bags that would work too. You're going to have to make some simple modifications. The kit comes with all the bolts and washers that you need. In this particular case, the rack was not, it's just barely wider than the internal handle system. So what I had to do is just grab some washers, smaller washers than came with the kit, because they were a little bit too wide and they were banging up against the rail system inside. And I cut down the rubber washers, the weather seal washers that go in between the rack and the bag, and same on the inside. I just cut the rubber washers down a little bit, or you can go to the hardware store and buy new ones. Again, this is a universal system, guys. Don't get caught up that it's, you know, has to be a very specific way. It's really up to you. Like I say, with the top deck bag, it is very, very much more seamless. But if you want to do a roller bag or something like that, like me, I definitely wanted to test it. And it does work. Just understand you're gonna have to make minor modifications, and just be aware of where you're drilling your holes through your liner and through the bag, and make sure that you're not binding up with the handle and the rail system in there. At the end of the day, it's universal. It's bolts and washers, and you get to kind of situate this rack the way you want to. So with that said, you understand we can't make any guarantees that it's gonna work with your aftermarket bag. My suggestion, get hooked up in our store with a Rickrack system, at least this part, and get it lined up to your bag and see if it works, see if it's something that's going to work. If not, if it's not going to work, you can always get a different aftermarket bag after you take your measurements, or like I say, you can simply go with the Rickrack bag itself, and it's going to be a super easy install and no modifications basically. And I will tell you, this top deck bag is super solid, as good as any bag out there on the market. So another question, no, these type of stealth racks, Harley Davidson, are not going to work. This is not round bar. The Rickrack system is made to clamp onto round bar. So it becomes pretty obvious that these are round, and so you got to have a nice round bar going through there. So what that means is you're going to have a standard Harley Davidson King HD 2-up luggage rack. It's the big bad boy luggage rack. Full size, so that it's wide enough. The Rickrack system was made for this. Some of you guys ask, okay, I've got a rack like that, but it curves up in the back. It has a little flare up in the back. You guys have seen some of those. I can't make any guarantees, nobody can, that this system is going to work with that. Will it work? I don't know. You'll have to test it. What I can guarantee, and what we can guarantee at Law Abiding Biker in our store, is that it is made for a flat standard King HD 2-up rack. So just make sure if you're gonna try to use a different rack, that's kind of on you. And so while we're on the rack system, of course, you're gonna need 4-point docking hardware, basically so you can put a rack onto your Harley Davidson motorcycle. The other thing people ask is, will this Rickrack system and bag will I be able to get my passenger backrest on with my 4-point docking hardware? The answer is yes, if you use the right size bag, and I've tested that for you guys. So yes, this bag works. This aftermarket bag works perfect. You can't go any bigger than this. So when I'm putting this on here, it is butting right up against my backrest for my passenger backrest. As you can see, it does fit with my passenger backrest, but again, it is butted right up. And what I've found is, if you're in the market and you want to use your aftermarket bag, no more than 13 inches width from front to back, or from front to back, however you want to do it. 13 inches, that includes these pockets right here. This bag is about 12 inches wide, but with the pockets on each side, the front and back, it's about 13 inches. If you're gonna use your backrest, you're gonna lose I have a back pocket on this bag. You're gonna lose that pocket basically because it's smushed up against the backrest. So as far as width, or length this way, that's up to you. Height, things like that, very adjustable. The rack's gonna work, but if you wanna use it with your passenger backrest, again, max, I say, is 13 inches from front to back, including your exterior pockets. and it's going to work. And just understand you could use a wider bag than that, but you're going to lose your passenger backrest basically. And yes, the Top Deck 2 bag by Rickrack is about the same size as this, so from front to back with exterior pockets, about 13 inches. And again, you're going to lose access to this front pocket, if you want to call it, because it's kind of going to be smashed in between the passenger backrest and the bag here. But it doesn't really matter, because with this Top Deck 2 bag, it's kind of just a pocket to hold your handles and straps for this bag. And in our other video, which I'll link to in the description below, that we already did, we show you, you can see I've got the holes. We already installed the system. We show you how to do it from scratch, guys. Super easy. Like I say, with this bag, we'll walk you through the whole thing, and we show you a little bit more what this bag looks like inside. Oh, and a really cool thing, this Rickrack cover, this rain cover, really solid, actually fits over this aftermarket tea bag. So that's what I'm going to use, because it didn't come with one. All right, I just got to do it. This is really how quick the Rickrack bag, when I get to my hotel when I'm traveling cross country and I'm tired and I got gear, this is really how quick it comes off. That's it, guys, and you do not need to worry about it falling off, guys. The system that Rickrack has made is super solid when you use it with that luggage rack, and this is clamped down. There is no chance you're gonna lose this bag. It is solid and attached to that luggage rack. Best part is no strapping down and none of those straps slapping your paint. And if you're worried about security, have no fear. Rickrack makes a lock that fits perfect around the King HD 2-up rack and actually secures the bag to the rack. Let me show you. So like I say, this lock fits perfect right up around the round bar and through the hole in the back of the Rickrack system there. Then of course, lock shut. Now your bag is locked to your rack. And if you live in the hood, there is a system I believe Harley makes that you can actually lock your luggage rack to your 4-point docking system. So at the end of the day, I'm going to keep it simple for you guys. If you're thinking about purchasing the Rickrack system, forget the bags for now, okay? You only have a couple of decisions to make. This rack is for the King HD 2-up luggage rack. That's simple. Forget the bag, just the rack, okay? It's going to work on Street Glide, on Road Glide. If you have that rack for a Road King, again, it's all dependent on the King HD 2-up rack. That's our first version. The only difference is whether you have a full touring and you have a trunk, okay? And that round bar rack on the top of your Harley Davidson Ultras and things like that, there's a different rack system, not bag. The bags are the same, but there's a different rack system, and it's just a little bit longer, and it has bars that go a little bit longer. It's in our store. Everything's very easy to find. Links in the description below, and it will allow you to attach this to the top of your trunk. The really nice thing about that is, you guys know how heavy those trunks are. You put bag or you strap luggage down and then you try to open your lid and let it sit. It's overbearing. Within 5-10 seconds, you can just take this right off the top of your trunk, off that luggage, get it off the side. Then you can open your trunk and you don't have all that weight bearing on the lid. So that's a very nice system, okay? Third is our Indian system. There's a system for your luggage rack, on your Tour-Pak, on your Indian motorcycle. Again, all this is very easy to find in our store. So now that you pick the rack you want that's going to work for your model, okay, all you got to do is decide what bag you're going to get. Are you going to get an aftermarket bag or try to use your aftermarket bag, again, with some minor modifications with washers and sizes? Or are you going to swing for the Rickrack bag, and which is a seamless integrated system? Will make it very easy with 0 modifications to put the Rickrack system on the bottom of this bag. And while I'm on bags, don't forget we have a very nice Rickrack bag pet carrier. It's a nice little dog house or cat house for your Rickrack system. Sits right up on the back. Very cool, check that out. So when you're in our store, this is all you gotta do, is when you go to our Rickrack page, again, link in the description below, it's very simple. Up near the price, you can get your variation. Do you want just the Rickrack? Do you want Rickrack with the Top Deck 2 bag? Whatever variation you want, in the drop down, it will adjust the price for you based on your particular needs. And don't forget, do you want to lock with it? It's really that simple, class. Again, it's a universal system. It's dependent on the luggage rack that you use, which Rickrack system that you're going to get. It's a simple 6-bolt system with washers that bolts through the bottom of your bag and makes it quick detach. All right, class, let's summarize. Class, Shut up. So first, just choose the Rickrack system that's going to work for your situation and what kind of motorcycle you have. Again, this one is for the Harley Street Glide, Road King, as long as you have the Harley Davidson King HD 2-up full-size round bar flat luggage rack. It's going to work seamlessly. No, the Rickrack system is not heavy. In fact, it's very durable metal, but super light, so there's no weight issues. And no, the Rickrack will not scratch your chrome or black luggage rack. It has nice rubber protectors around all contact points. And yes, you will need docking hardware, your choice, 2 or 4 point. If you just get 2 point, then you just can have a luggage rack. If you get 4 point, you can have a luggage rack and the passenger backrest. And while we're on that topic, yes, you can fit the Rickrack system on your motorcycle and it will fit with a passenger backrest, as long as you don't go any wider front to back. That includes external pockets, 13 inches max. And yes, you can go wider than that. Just understand that you will lose your passenger backrest because it's going to be too wide to have this on there. No, it will not work with these type of racks. It must be that rack there. Top deck 2-bag, perfect fitment with the Rickrack system, no modifications. And this is a roller bag with a telescoping handle. And just understand, if you're going to use it with an aftermarket bag and that rail system is in there, you're going to have to space out exactly where that rail system is and determine if it's going to work for you. You may have to make very minor modifications, such as I did. I just used smaller washers that weren't such wide flat washers so they wouldn't interfere with that rail system. And I used a little bit smaller rubber washers. Very simple modification, very simple things you can find at any hardware store. So like I say, Bikeaholics, don't make it complicated. It's very simple. Head over to our store. Again, you can choose the variation in the drop-down menu on what you want. There's more information over there. We also have that luggage rack right there. We have some information on it so that you can make sure you get the right luggage rack for this system. And I really hope that was solid information for all you Bikeaholics out there that are considering purchasing a Rickrak-Strapless quick detach luggage system. Again, everything I talked about in our store. If you appreciate what we're doing, please support us, shop in our store. Class dismissed, Bikeaholics. Rickrack. All right, and another thing. Hey, I saw you. That's my daughter, my youngest. There she goes. Come here, come on over. This is Nalia. Bring that bike here. Bring your bike here. I gotta check this out. Give me that bike. Oh yeah, that's not the Rickrack system. Let's check this out. Okay, that's the Rickrack system on a child's bicycle. Looks cool, not recommended. Thanks for letting me use your bike.
You're welcome.
Come over here. Just say hi. Nalia, high five. All right, I gotta finish my video. And don't forget, links in the description below about any products we talked about in this video. Make sure you get subscribed to this channel before you leave. Hit that subscribe button already. Everybody's doing it. Don't miss out.